Hello and welcome to this prenatal yoga class. If you have taken this class before with me, you're welcome to skip the intro. You can check the chapters below and jump ahead. But before you do that, I would love it if you could subscribe and help support this channel. Otherwise, if this is your first time here coming across this prenatal yoga class or across my channel, welcome. My name is Bre. This class is designed for all trimesters, so I am currently in my second trimester with my first baby, so this has also been a big learning experience for me too, and it's fun to integrate new concepts into my yoga classes. What can you expect from this prenatal yoga class? The style of yoga that I usually teach is a power vinyasa flow. Of course, I still integrate meditation and breath work along with my classes, so it is a full scope, not just the physical form of yoga. But for this prenatal class, I will of course be taking it down a notch, modifying poses, and taking it a little bit easier, so we're not going to be building up quite as much heat as we usually would in a class. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to go easy on you or easy on myself. In just a few months from now, you're going to be holding your baby in your arms, and this is a lot of weight to be holding all the time. And so we want to also build upper body strength, shoulder strength, so that we can be ready and prepared to hold our baby. The style of class is still a vinyasa flow class, so I will be connecting breath with movements, but I also understand that the breath is a little bit more restricted during pregnancy, so don't worry so much if you can't follow the breath exactly or do exactly the breath counts that I'm doing. It's not important. What's really important is that you're listening to your body, you're moving in a way that feels good for you, and you're taking as many breaks as you need. For today's class, the props that you will need are a yoga mat and also a blanket, which I would like you to lay perpendicular across your mat, so you're almost making a plus sign with your mat and the blanket. And you're going to use this underneath your knees for most of the class, so you can just leave it there at the beginning. And you'll also grab a couple of pillows or a bolster or even a couch cushion that we will be using at the end of class. Besides that, all you need is your body, your breath, and let's have some fun today in class. Move with our body and connect with our baby. We'll begin class in a comfortable cross-legged position. You can already sit on your blanket if you would like. Place your hands on your knees and gently close down the eyes. Take a deep inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up. Sit nice and tall. And as you exhale, try to keep the lips sealed. Just breathe through the nose. Relax the shoulder blades down the back. Take a few more deep breaths, just like that. With each inhale, you're sitting a little bit taller, you're finding a little bit more space. And each exhale, you're relaxing the shoulders, relax the hands, relax the face. Before we start moving our body, I'd like you to place both hands on your belly. Take a moment to connect with your baby. Just take a few deep breaths here. You can imagine that you're sending love through your hands to your baby, and vice versa. You can feel the love coming out from your belly and expanding into your entire body, this beautiful exchange of energy. Begin to blink open your eyes. You'll bring both palms together, hands at the heart. We're going to start with a movement called breath of joy. So you're going to have your palms here, hands at the heart, and then you'll begin to interlace the hands together. Start to extend the arms forward, around the back, tuck the chin to the chest. And then reach both arms up over your head as high as you can. Sit nice and tall. And then release the hands, interlace behind the back. Take a little baby back bend. Maybe the chin tips up towards the sky. And then release the hands, palms together, back at the heart. We'll continue with that movement. We'll do a few more rounds. So interlace the hands, send them forward. Reach the arms up over the head. Release, interlace behind the back. Release, palms together, hands at the heart. Now you can start to connect these movements with the breath. So inhale here. Exhale, interlace, press the hands forward. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, release, hands behind you, interlace. Same exhale. Release, palms together, hands at the heart. Do one more round on your own at the pace of your own breath. Beautiful job. Release your left hand down on the ground. Reach your right arm up over your head. Take a gentle side bend over to the left. Really reach with the right fingertips up over your head. So instead of collapsing the chest down or trying to get as much length or hand towards the ground as much as you can, instead imagine opening the right arm up, creating as much space for the baby as you can. Release and switch. Right palm comes down to the ground, left arm up over the head. Press yourself back up to neutral spine. We'll make our way into a twist to the left. So bring your left hand behind you, the right hand comes onto the left knee, and then gently make your way into a twist. So if you've been doing yoga for a long time, you're usually used to coming pretty deep into the twists. But for now, with the belly, as it continues to grow, I'd like you to reduce the twist just a little bit. So instead of twisting your entire thoracic spine, I would like you to just focus more on twisting the upper back, the mid-upper back. So you're not doing so much in the mid or lower. And release, twist over to the other side. So you might have heard some prenatal classes that tell you to not do twists at all. And that's something that I really disagree with. I think you should continue to move your spine in all direction every day, but just within the limitations of your own body as the belly continues to grow. Nobody knows your body better than you do. So just know that you have to back off a little bit, take it a little bit easier, but it doesn't mean that you have to stop moving completely. Release the twist. We're going to make our way into a tabletop. So you could either just cross over the ankles, come into a tabletop, or you could also lean back and then bring the knees together and then make your way into a tabletop. However you get there is great. From this tabletop, we'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow. So let's inhale, let the belly sink down. Gently gaze forward. Try not to tip the tailbone up to the sky too much. You've already got a lot of weight coming in the lumbar spine. And then begin to round the back. Tuck the chin to the chest. Hug the baby in. And again, let the belly sink down. Gaze forward. And back. Press the ground away. Hug the baby in. and back to a neutral spine. Send the right leg straight back so that it's parallel to the ground. We're going to begin with some safe modified ab workout or ab portion. So we're going to bring our right knee to our right elbow and then bring it back, parallel to the ground. Bring it back, knee to elbow, and extend. So continue on your own. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds with just the right leg. So what we're focusing on here, for abs especially, as you move through your pregnancy, around the second trimester, you want to discontinue doing abs where you're laying on your back and you're crunching your chest up. Last one. And set the right leg down. Switch left leg, extend left leg straight back. And then knee taps to the left elbow and bring it straight back. So as your belly continues to grow, you understand that your abs begin to separate, which is completely normal. But we want to assist the core and keep it strong because you're going to really need those muscles during labor. So you still want to keep them active, but you just want to do it in a safe way. Last one. And back. And set the left knee down. Now again, extend the right leg straight back behind you. Extend the left arm forward, up above your head. So now you're creating this straight line from your left fingertips down to your right toes. Try to tuck the belly in just a little bit more so you're not dumping into your low back. And then you're going to begin to bring the right leg forward. Left arm comes in, and you're going to tap, if you can, the left elbow to the right knee. Otherwise, you can also just reach back with the left hand and just touch the outside of the right knee. And extend the leg again and the arm. Find the length, and then again, crunch it in. So we've got 30 seconds here. So we're focusing mostly on our transverse abdominis, that corset muscle that wraps around the core. So you might not feel much, but you're working and your core is working. Keep it up. Last two. Last one. Back to tabletop. Other side, extend the left leg straight back, right arm comes forward. Pause here first to really set up the pose. Make sure you feel stable and balanced. And then exhale, crunch it in. Round the back, elbow to the knee or hand to the knee, and extend it once again. 30 seconds here. So try to move with control, nice and slow, so you never get off balance and fall over. Try to connect the movements with your breath. Last one. Tap and extend and back to tabletop. So we'll do some barrel rolls with the core. So let the belly sink down and then bring your rib cage over to the left and then bring it up towards the sky and over to the right and back down to the ground. Over to the left, up to the sky, over to the right and down. Switch directions. Let's do 2 barrel rolls over to the right. From a tabletop, we're going to send the hips back to either a child's pose Or you can also come into polar bear, where you just come onto your forearms instead. So we're here for just a couple of breaths to reset. Let the hips open up. And now I'd like you to reach your hands as far forward as you can, either from child's pose or from this polar bear position. We're going to do 10 reps of chaturanga push-ups with the knees down. So we're doing this to activate and to strengthen the shoulders. So of course, if you want to skip it, you're welcome to, but I encourage you to give it a try. So start to lift the hips, send the chest forward. Begin to bend the arms, bring the arms close so the elbows are touching the rib cage, but the shoulders are not coming lower than the elbows. Send it back, child's pose. Bring it forward, let's do 9. Back. 8. 7, start to move with your breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, just do your best. 2, and last one. Send it back, child's pose. Great, back up to that tabletop. And we'll do a wrist release. So come onto the backs of the hands, the fingertips point towards the knees. Try to keep the arms straight, and then you can gently sit back. You can also tuck the toes under to stretch out the feet. Maybe sway a little left and right. And back to tabletop. We'll do just about 1 minute of some core compressions to work on our pelvic floor before we move into the flow. So if you haven't done Kegels before or pelvic floor exercises, what you're going to be doing is we're going to do it in a 2-step lifting and a 2-step lowering. So when you're lifting and you're engaging your pelvic floor, if you haven't done it before, it's almost as if you're drinking water through a straw, which is going up your vagina. So as you're drinking that water and coming up, you're pulling everything into the pelvic floor, up through the spine. And then at the same time, you're hugging your belly in. Your navel is coming close to your belly button, and you almost have a slight pelvic tuck. So you're going to lift for 2 and then lower for 2. So it's going to look like this. So it's pretty subtle. You can start whenever you feel ready. But you're basically lifting your pelvic floor, and at the same time you're lifting and pulling your belly in. And then you lower halfway, and then you lower all the way. So it's a lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower. Let's go for about 20 more seconds. Great job, and release. You can come back to your natural breath. Tuck your toes and lift your knees and make your way into a downward dog. Those core compressions are really nice to do even every day, but it's also important to be aware of how strong your pelvic floor is. You want to find a happy balance between knowing where the muscles are and how to move them with control, but also not overworking them. So settle into your downward dog, pedal one leg and then the other if you'd like to. And then bend the knees. Start to walk the feet forward to the top of your mat outside your hands. Malasana yogi squat. So you can either, for Malasana, you can keep the hips high and you can rest your arms onto your knees. Anytime I cue Malasana. Or you can come all the way down and lower the hips. So it's completely up to you what feels good in your body. Now place both hands down on the ground. Start to straighten the legs. And then keep the legs bent. Come all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead. Palms touch. And exhale back down to Malasana. Either halfway or all the way down. Palms come down. Lift the hips. Come back up to standing. Let's do 3 more. Squat down. Lift up. The last one in a squat. Lift the hips. And then exhale, forward fold. Keep the legs wide here to make space for the belly. Take an inhale, halfway lift to lengthen the spine. And exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat for lizard lunge. So both hands come inside the right foot. You can move the hips around. Gently set down the left knee as you come into a low lunge, modified. Keep the foot to the outside. Bring both hands onto your right thigh. And then start to send the hips forward and down. So you're going to keep your hands on your leg instead of a typical low lunge where your arms are reaching up over your head. Just so you have a little more stability in the hips. And as you release your hands back down to the inside of your right thigh, start to straighten your right leg. Half splits. Rebend the right leg and straighten. Let's do a few more of these. Start to move with the breath. When we meet in this back to this half splits, you're going to start to walk both of your hands over to the left side of your mat. Pivot on the left knee and bring the left foot parallel to the blanket and then extend your right leg straight out towards the front of the mat. Bring your left hand to the back of the mat, reach your right arm up over your head. And release, same way you went back in. You're going to bring both of your hands towards the side of your mat. And then this time, lift the chest up. Bring your right hand down towards your right calf. We're coming into Parigasana, gate pose. Reach your left arm up over your head. Keep your fingertips light on the right calf or the outer thigh, so you're not dumping into the knee. And then begin to make some circles with that left arm. So bring the left arm down towards the ground. And then make a huge circle as big as you can. Wrap it up and over your head. And again, let's go for 3 more circles. Start to find some more mobility in the shoulders. Great, and release. Both hands back down in front of you off the side of your mat. And then pivot again on the left knee so the left foot comes back. Rebend the right knee back to lizard lunge. So now you can keep your left knee down on the ground and you're going to extend your right leg straight back to the back of the mat tuck the toes under, and then stretch out the right calf. So start to lean back, press the right heel back, and release the calf stretch. Bring the right leg across, over to the left, and then gaze over your left shoulder towards your right toes. Feel this whole side body stretch along the whole right side. And release. You're going to make your way back into lizard lunge. So you might want to come onto your fingertips to create a little more space as you bring your right leg forward once again. Once you're there, you're going to tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee up, pivot both feet, make your way to prasarita. Standing straddle forward fold. So you might need to adjust the feet. Make sure the balls of the feet are a little bit closer in than the heels. And then gently let your chest come down towards the ground. Press into the hands, start to lift the chest up once again. And then bring the heels in, pivot the feet, hands at the hips as you rise up for goddess pose. So we want the direction of the feet to go in the same direction as the quads. You might need to modify the feet just a little bit. Make sure you're staying safe here with the knees. And then you're going to bring both of your hands out to the sides of you. And we're going to do a motion called turning the moon from Qigong. So you're going to bring your right hand underneath, left arm comes up over your head for a side bend over to the right, and then switch it. Right arm up over your head, and switch, left arm up over your head. So continue on your own. Almost as if you're creating this energy circle around the baby, around your belly. You're connecting with your breath. You're feeling energized and alive. Doesn't it feel great to feel alive? Last one, left arm up over your head. And release, straighten both legs. Find some relief in the quads for just a moment. And then Skandasana to the left, spider lunge. So you could either take a high spider lunge and keep the hips high, or you can lower the hips down and use your hands to help. Move towards the front of your mat. Again, back to lizard lunge. And then step the left foot forward to meet the right. Malasana at the top of the mat. Both hands down to the ground. Use your hands to help lift your hips. Come all the way back up to standing. And exhale, lower down. Yogi squat, Malasana. Let's do 4 more. In many traditions around the world, they say squatting, doing many squats a day is one of the best preparations you can do for a birth. So I know these are challenging, but they're good for you, they're good for the baby. Last one. Exhale, lower down. Great, inhale, lift the hips. And then take an inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Lizard lunge. Take a moment here, move around the hips. And then set down the right knee. Make your way into this modified low lunge. Keep the left leg out and both hands on top of the left thigh. Try not to dump too much into your lower back. Instead, focus more on stretching the front side of the right hip. Both hands down to the inside of the left foot, and then begin to straighten the left leg to any degree. Half splits. Rebend the left leg and send it back. Let's do a few more reps. Move slowly with awareness, with control. There's no rush. Last one. We meet in half splits. And then walk both of your hands over to the right side of your mat. Pivot on the right knee. And then extend the left foot to the front of the mat. And the right hand comes to the back of the mat. Extend your left arm up over your head. Reach with that left hand. Just find as much length as you can from your left hand down to your left foot. And reverse it back out. Both hands to the right side of the mat. And then lift the chest back up. Left fingertips come down towards your left calf or your left hamstring. And then right arm reaches up over your head for gate pose. So you could either have your right sole of your foot down on the ground, or you can point the toes up towards the sky. Doesn't matter too much. Focus more on feeling the stretch on the inner groin area, the hamstring, and also the side bend body of the abdomen, the core, the right shoulder. Let's continue with that shoulder opening. So you're going to release the right arm down towards the ground. Make a big circle to the back of the mat and up over your head. Release and up. Release and up. Let's do two more. And release. Both hands come to the right side of your mat. As you again pivot on the right knee, make your way back to that lizard lunge. Rebend the left knee. Hands come towards the top of the mat. And you're going to bring your left leg straight back to the back of the mat for that calf stretch with the left leg. So tuck the left toes under, start to send the left heel back. Release the calf stretch. And then bring the left leg all the way off the right side of your mat. And the gaze comes over your right shoulder towards your left toes. Release back to lizard lunge. You can come onto the fingertips if you need a little bit more space to bring that leg back up. Keep your right toes tucked under, lift your right knee, and then pivot both feet, prasarita, standing forward straddle fold on the other side. So take your time here to get into the pose. And if you're used to going super deep in poses, then I recommend that you back off just slightly and understand that your joints and your ligaments are actually naturally opening up from a chemical that's being released during pregnancy called relaxin, ironically. So the ligaments are already opening up. So it's important to be aware of where your edges are in your practice. And during pregnancy is not the time to find your new edge. Last thing we want is to get injured. So just back off slightly. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands, lift the chest. And then bring the balls of the feet in. We're going to rise up again once for goddess pose. So this time in goddess, I'd like you to bring both of your hands down onto your thighs. And we're going to do about 1 minute again of those core compressions. So it's going to be both lifting the pelvic floor and pulling in the belly, the navel to the spine, and doing a slight pelvic tilt. So it's a core exercise. Of course, obviously you're doing some with the legs as well, but we're here for just 1 minute. So just stick with me. Let's do it together. So we're going to lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. So continue on your own. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 40 more seconds. You can do it. Feel the heat building. You got it. Last 2. Lower, lower. Last 1. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Straighten the legs. Give the quads a little relief just for a moment. And then spider lunge over to the right, Skandasana. Right leg is bent, left leg is straight. Either that high Skandasana or low. And then move towards the front of the mat, lizard lunge. Step the right foot forward to meet the left, Malasana, yogi squat. Great job. Bring both hands down to the ground. You can help assist, maybe bring the hands behind you. Make your way into a seat. Coming into butterfly pose. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And then sit nice and tall. So we're trying to reduce the deep rounding in the low back. So if you find that you're here in this butterfly and you're trying to reach and round the back here, it's actually better to just cross the ankles and then sit up. So you can sort of tip your pelvis, and then you can start to walk the hands forward. But if you find that you can tip your pelvis and that you're not rounding your back, then you can, of course, take butterfly. So either variation is perfectly fine. With each inhale, you find a little more length in the spine. The crown of your head is reaching up. And each exhale, you're coming down, letting your belly come a little bit closer to the ground with each exhale. Moving towards our end of class. You want to consciously work on slowing down the breath. Allowing our body to shift into a more parasympathetic nervous system state, that rest and digest. With the help of your hands, start to lift your chest back up, walk your hands back towards your hips. Hold on to the outsides of both knees and then help lift the knees back together. Bring the hands behind you just for some support as you windshield wiper one knee at a time. Release the tension in the hips. And we're making our way into a seated straddle fold. So I'll turn sideways on my mat so you can see a little bit better, but you're welcome to just stay as you are and then extend the legs straight out. So once you're there, you can flex both feet. And then we're going to take a side bend over to the left. So start to reach your right arm up over your head. Maybe for you, your left forearm is down on the ground, or your left hand is just on your left calf. Whatever is fine. What you're focusing on here is stretching the muscles in your lower back on your right side. It's your quadratus laborum muscle, which gets exceptionally tight when you do a lot of sitting. So this is a really good pose to integrate into your daily practice. And as you release and come to the other side, I'd like you to lower your chest down towards the ground and then slowly make your way over to the right. Once you're there, you can reach your left arm up over your head. And again, release. Make your way to the center with your chest, with your arms. And then we're just going to stay here in a seated forward straddle fold. You can keep both of your forearms down, or you can let your chest melt down towards the ground. You can also grab those pillows or bolsters and prop yourself up a little bit higher. So whatever height feels best for you. Doesn't matter how deep you can go. What you're looking for is a sensation in the stretch and a space where you can have a little bit of ease, but also effortlessness. So we're here for about 1 minute. So with every exhale, see if you can relax into the pose a little bit more. I won't be releasing a ton of prenatal classes here on our channel because this is not really the niche of our channel, nor is it the direction that we want our channel to be going. But with that being said, hopefully you've learned quite a few tips from this class and modifications and things that you can take with you into your practice and do in many other classes, especially all the beginner classes. We have over 100 of them here on the channel. So if you keep in mind a lot of the things that we modified with, and especially not going too deep into the poses, letting your breath just move in ways that feel good, then you can take the things that you learned from this class and integrate them into hundreds of other classes. Someday down the road, I'll be releasing a full 70 to 100 video program that is specific to prenatal. So for now, you just get to sprinkle a few of them here and there on our YouTube channel. And at least you have a few tips that you can take with you to continue with the smooth and easy, but active and safe pregnancy. Walk your hands back towards your hips. And then hold on to the backs of both knees as you lift your knees up. And again, hands come behind you and windshield wiper the knees. Now you can grab those two bolsters or pillows, couch cushions, whatever you had. You're going to place them on the left side of your mat. And then I'd like you to lower down onto the ground. And if you are in your second or third trimester, it's best to always lower down onto the ground from a side plane instead of lowering down onto your back. Again, you don't want to be doing any of the core exercises where you're laying with your back down. It's not good for the abs as they continue to separate. So it's best to lower down on the side. So once you've lowered down, then you can roll onto your back. Adjust the hips. And we're making our way into a supine twist with the legs coming over to the left. So first, if you'd like to hug the knees into the chest or towards the shoulders, and then you can bring both legs off to the left side and let the legs rest on the pillows. So I recommend that you have both the knees and also the feet resting on the bolsters or the pillows. And then to any degree, you can begin to lower your right shoulder down. So if you already find that this is too deep of a twist for you, then you can lift the right shoulder up just a little bit and bring the right knee a little bit more forward. So we're not trying to find our deepest twist. Not at all. We're finding a space that is gentle and that provides a little bit of a twist in the mid and upper back. And then release the legs. Bring them straight down onto the ground. And then grab onto the pillows. Keep your chest and your back down on the ground as you bring your pillows up and over to the right side. So you're not doing any core exercise here. Once the pillows are on the right side of you, then you can bend your legs again. Maybe slide the hips over to the left a little bit to give space, and then you can bring both legs over to the right. And allow each exhale to relax your body a little bit more. This is our last pose before we make our way into Shavasana. So really enjoy this pose, make the best of it. And if you've enjoyed this class, then I recommend that you share it with other women in your life who are also expecting. Maybe share it with some of your pregnancy circles so that we can all remain active and healthy and safe throughout our pregnancies. And begin to straighten the legs as you release out of this pose. And now for Shavasana, you have a couple of options. So if you're still early in your pregnancy, especially in the first trimester, it's probably fine for you to just lay on your back and take full Shavasana as long as it's not uncomfortable for you on your belly. Once you come into your second trimester, and especially your third, then laying on your back becomes quite uncomfortable. And so we can either do a supported Shavasana, which I will show, or you can also just do a side-lying Shavasana. So for a supported Shavasana, you'll just take those couch cushions or pillows and you'll bring them up. And it's nice to sort of have an elevation in the back. And then again, as you lower down on your side, then you can roll onto your back. So either your supported Shavasana here, legs straight, palms up towards the sky as you normally would. Or if you already find that this is too much pressure and the baby is pushing into your vena cava vein a little bit too much and you're having a hard time breathing, then it's a really good sign that you should take a side-lying Shavasana. So for that, it's also pretty simple. You're just going to roll onto your side. And you can keep one pillow underneath your head. And then you'll place another pillow, if you'd like, between the knees. And this will be your side-lying Shavasana. So your choice depends on where you are in your pregnancy, depends on what feels best for you. But if you do take a side-lying Shavasana, please roll onto your left side because your vena cava vein, which I mentioned, is one of the main veins that runs in your body near your spine, and it's on the right side. So you want to actually alleviate the weight off of that vein. So it's obviously okay if once in a while you're on your right side. We do it naturally when we sleep, but it's better to remain on your left side more if you can. So whatever variation of Shavasana you have decided to take, start to settle into some stillness here. We'll be here in Shavasana for about 2 minutes. So with every exhale, allow your body to relax a little bit more. If there's any areas of tension that you're still holding on to, then give yourself permission to relax. Might even be muscles in the face or the hips, the feet. Just let everything relax. Put all of your attention on the breath. Soft inhales and soft exhales. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up. And exhale, open mouth, let it go. Start to wake your body back up. And if you were laying on your back for Shavasana or a supported Shavasana, then I would like you to bend your knees and gently roll onto your left side, and we will all meet here, lying on our left. Bring your right palm down onto the ground and use the strength of your right arm to help lift your body back up to a comfortable seated position. You can keep your eyes closed and just feel your way there. Once you've found a comfortable seat, then take a deep inhale, sit nice and tall, just like we did at the beginning of class. And exhale, relax the shoulders down away from the ears. So I'll be closing down class by stating a few different positive affirmations. I would like you to repeat them either in your head or out loud. And really feel the words ring true for you. You can keep your hands on your knees, palms down, or palms facing up towards the sky. You're also welcome to hold on to the belly and give and receive that extra love from the baby. So the choice is yours. As I say each affirmation, repeat it to yourself wholly and truly. Believe it and feel it within. My body is designed to give birth. My baby is healthy and strong. My pregnant body is beautiful. And my baby can feel the peace within. Thank you so much for joining me today for class, for moving your body, for connecting with your breath. I'm sending lots of love from myself and my baby to you and yours. Namaste.